From the slums of Dubai to the glamour of Luton, here we are for another 5 at 5, and we're back to winning ways. Let's get straight into number one, and that's Arsenal's goalkeeping union. I think since Ramsdale's been at the club, there's not a single Arsenal fan that doesn't like him. He's just been a brilliant, consistent performer. Off the pitch, he seems to have been a really good influence. He's got a brilliant connection with the fans, very charismatic. All in all, so far, at this stage of his Arsenal career, it's been one hell of a brilliant signing, and one that's taken a lot of people by surprise. I never, myself, expected him to be even featured in the first team this much, never mind being such an important and valued member of it. And what that has done is it's pushed Bernd Leno to the side. And you know what? You see some players kind of acting up a little bit, not really responding in the way that you'd hope. And Bernd Leno has been nothing but professional. And you know what? I think that deserves a lot of credit and a lot of praise. It's the sort of thing that you only appreciate, you only say that, oh, this is all I want from a player, when they're not doing it, when they're going out there and acting like idiots. But Bernd Leno has been really, really professional. And what I absolutely loved was the relationship between Ramsdale and Leno. Ramsdale seemed to be really, really happy for Bernd Leno keeping that clean sheet, putting off the save at the end. And Bernd Leno did everything that he needed to do and did it really, really well in the game as well. Bernd Leno and Aaron Ramsdale giving all Arsenal fans the feels right now. Number two, and this conversation has reared its silly head yet again. And you know what? Maybe it's a lesson for us all, because we've probably all done it in the past at some point. You know, when it's your rivals who have won a game and they're celebrating and you're a bit annoyed that they've gone and got that win, you probably fall into the trap of criticising celebrations. And maybe it's one of those things that needs to just be left. Because, look, twice now in recent weeks, Arsenal have been criticised for the celebrations. Ruben Neves when we beat Wolves, and now Ashley Young and we've beaten Villa. And you know what? I always say this, you would have heard me say this before, you're in a very, very good place in your life. It's that if the criticisms that you're getting are of your celebrations. In order for you to be celebrating, you must have got a big fat W, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't mind if people are criticising Arsenal celebrations. I'd much rather that than they were criticising, for example, a player after a defeat going to a restaurant or something silly like that, because that's also another part of the game where you get criticism. You can't avoid criticism in football, so let that criticism be for our celebrations. I personally felt like Arsenal did celebrate hard after this Villa game, but you know what? I like it. When you celebrate like that, it's one of two things. Either you think what you've just done is a far greater achievement than what it actually is, or it just means a hell of a lot to you. There's certain people that will celebrate things differently than you might celebrate them. And what that tells me is Arsenal are desperate for top four. If Nicolas has managed to inject that level of desire into the Arsenal team, where every time they inch closer to that top four spot, they're celebrating like they've won the league, so be it. That for me is consistent, or it should be consistent with their desire to go and achieve that goal. And listen, it's all linked. So if we want it as badly as what our celebrations are making out, hopefully we'll go and achieve it. Number three, refereeing by reputation. Granit Xhaka, 1 foul. Matt Cash, 4 fouls. Granit Xhaka, 1 yellow card. Matt Cash, nothing. Listen, Granit Xhaka, I think we've all started to use that cliche now. It's become a cliche now. If that were Granit Xhaka, when you see a challenge being made on a football pitch and a player gets away with it, people always now say, if that was Granit Xhaka, what would the ref have done? And I think yesterday actually really cements that. It's become quite annoying. Often Granit Xhaka does do stupid stuff and he does deserve a yellow card, but yesterday I'd love to understand how the ref has manufactured 2 extra fouls in his mind. You know, beyond me, absolutely baffling. But let's not just focus on that, on the fact that Granit Xhaka got a yellow card. I think against Villa and against Liverpool, he's been pretty good. And, you know, he shouldn't have got a yellow card against Villa. He didn't get one against Liverpool. He's even, I might be speaking too soon, but he's even seemed to cut that out of his game a little bit, like the really silly, needless yellow cards. I still think we do need a top-class replacement for him, but I like to see him doing well. Ultimately, even if he does leave the club in the summer with Roma still interested, the rumours are still there, I want him to leave with his head held high. Not in the way, for example, that Aubameyang left, which was not what you'd really want to have, you know, when you leave the club. But anyway, Granit Xhaka, keep it up. and we see the rest. Number 4, Mikel Arteta has led Arsenal to being the 3rd best team in the Premier League at home. But throughout a lot of the season, we were talking about how we can't win away. Well, now, since 2015, this is the first time we've won 5 away games on the trot. Mikel Arteta seems to be putting a proper team here together. This game against Villa was exactly one of those games where people would talk about Arsenal's lack of steel and their fragility, because it's a hard place to come to. Villa obviously would have fancied themselves at home, but do you know what? We're a proper football team now. It really feels like we're a proper football team. Credit has to go to the lads. Credit has to go to Mikel Arteta. If you can do it in the Premier League on crunch games after a defeat away from home, that's when you know, actually, do you know what? You've got something about you. There's some resolve there. And this win for me was absolutely massive. And I'm not sure whether, it's going to be the one game. There'll be a moment in this run-in, maybe it's already happened, maybe it's to come, or maybe it was this game, that will really, really make the players believe that actually, do you know what, we are going to do this, we can do this, and it could well be this game. Massive, massive result. And number 5, and this one is a left field one, but do you know what, it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Watching Arsenal, obviously, week in, week out, can't remember the last time we conceded direct from a corner. I don't remember a central defender in the opposition team running in, bullet header, and, I'm sitting there thinking we should be better at corners. So it occurred to me a few weeks back, and I thought to myself, when was the last time we actually conceded from a corner? I didn't get my answer, but in the fallout of this game, this victory against Aston Villa, people have been talking about Nicolas Jover, and rightly so. Since he's come into the club, apparently we've faced 133 corners, or not since he came into the club, but the last 133 corners we've faced, we haven't conceded a single goal. So in the next game, if Arsenal concede from a corner, I don't want any fans talking about, we're rubbish from corners. It will happen eventually. But do you know what? That is one hell of a record. And it's just the basics. It's the little things like that where you apply a bit of common sense in how you defend and even how you attack corners that help you over the course of the season. And, each goal can be massive. Can you imagine if we had conceded a goal from a corner yesterday? That's 2 points dropped and masses of pressure on the team. It's the basics, getting them right. That's what leads you to achieving your objectives in the Premier League. Another thing I liked as well, even attacking set pieces. Emile Smith-Rowe picked up that space right on the edge of the D. So often in football, I see a play that area not properly being filled. And also Villa on the opposite side of Arsenal, defending set pieces and corners very well. They left him there unmarked on more than one occasion. When Arsenal are doing the right things and doing them sensibly, hopefully we'll see all the benefits of that. And that will lead us to that 4th place finish that we won. And let me just remind you, that 4th place finish, it's not the destination, it's the via point, it's the checkpoint on the journey. After that, that's when we really have to push on, and that's when Mikel Arteta's real work really starts. Anyway, until next time, I'm out. Take care.